The immortal John Hancock here, and today I'm showing you 10 Sega Genesis games that are still good and cheap. The Sega Genesis library is huge, hundreds of games, and as time goes on, the prices seem to creep up a bit. What I'm going to be showing you today are games that you can still get relatively cheap, as little as a few bucks for a loose cart, but not over the top, over like $20 plus for a boxed copy. So, sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the video. I'm a huge fan of the Genesis version of Roadblasters. This is an arcade game for people that aren't familiar, and it's a great arcade style racer. You have kind of a Mad Max aspect to it. You have to gather fuel on the road, destroy enemies. You do get bonuses. So you can play this game for score, play this game for fun. And yet another 10-gun game on the Genesis that's well done. It's one of my favorite. I used to play this a lot back in the day on my Nomad. I thought it made a great portable. It gets my thumbs up. One of the many games that gets overlooked on the Genesis is Soldiers of Fortune. And even though this was heavily advertised back in the day, it's just one of those things that isn't talked about a lot anymore. And this is a 16-level game. It was done by the Bitmap brothers. Just fantastic. You can choose different characters. It's got definitely a unique art style to it. I really enjoy it. It's got a rockin' soundtrack, and there's a lot of hidden secrets in this. I like these type of overhead action games. There was a lot back in the day. Sadly, there's not enough today, and so it's a lot of fun to play with, especially a second player. You know, there was other versions. This was on multiple consoles and computers, including an Amiga CD32, Super Nintendo, but I like the Genesis one. The Genesis one has awesome gameplay, very fast too. So this is definitely one to play with a friend and affordable. There's a love-hate relationship with this game. Some people love it, some people think it's just okay. I think it's a great budget title. No, it's not as good as Streets of Rage 2 or some other brawlers on the console, but it's unique. And I love the fact that you can customize your cyborg with a bunch of different things, different abilities. You can rip off arms, you can pick up parts. It takes a little bit to get used to, but this is a fun brawler slash fighter. And it is another two-player game. I love that you can do that. And so I really like this. You can pick up things. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. You can pick up parts from your enemies, as mentioned above, and it's just got a lot of neat little things in it. It's got great animation, decent graphics. Came out in '93. I love Tecmo Super Bowl, and the truth is, I probably could have chosen lots of sports titles on the Genesis that are very affordable. I think it plays great on the Genesis, and this one again is very affordable. Another game that you can play two-player. Yeah, sack, yeah. Take that, Cowboys. With the Nintendo Tecmo Super Bowl getting lots of attention, you know, people forget that it was also on Genesis and Super Nintendo. And these versions are really good. In fact, a lot of them had way less flicker and slowdown. And some of them, I really like the Genesis one. You know, there was actually 3 of them. Oh, yes, block it, block it, block it. Oh, almost blocked it. I still have the same enjoyment of playing this I do today than I did back in the day. And, of course, what makes Tecmo Bowl great is the long bombs you can do. Like this. Oh, yeah. Wow, he's slow. Alright. This is Tin Head. It's got good gameplay mechanics, fairly colorful. It's going to come out in some other platforms and never did, including including the Amiga and the Atari Jaguar, to name a few of them. And it's fast. I just really enjoy this game. For Genesis, very colorful, good color palette. You got a variety of weapons. Levels are big. There's a lot of hidden secrets. Definitely worth checking out. This game can easily be found among all the games that I mentioned today. Less than 20 bucks. So definitely worth checking out. Good game. Good platform. Yeah, combat cars. You know, and another game that you can have a 2-player option or go head to head. I really like the diversity of this racer, and you know, it's definitely got some funny 90s artwork to go along with it. You had different options. Definitely plays a little bit like RC Pro-Am meets Micro Machines. There's upgrades. You can win money. I really liked that you lots of different options here. A fun racer. Enjoyed it quite a bit. Played really nice. I liked that it had weapons. I think the weapons make this racer a little different because you could really have some fun and last minute kind of save. Your weapons can help you win at the last minute, just like RC Pro-Am. Really liked it. Good graphics, good gameplay. This is definitely one to pick up. Doesn't cost too much either. The 90s were awesome for Sega. They had a lot of tie-ins that actually were pretty good. And Ren and Stimpy's Invention was a pretty decent tie-in and platformer for the Sega Genesis. If you're a fan of the TV show, you're going to be right at home with this. And you know, if you didn't grow up with it, you might have forgotten this. So it's kind of cool. It's definitely got it's great for 2 players. There's 6 city scenes. There's a bunch of hidden extras. You can do lots of cool things from the cartoon and do a lot of the moves from the show. It's funny. I think it's got great graphics. I remember playing this with a buddy of mine back in the day, and it's a lot of fun. Pack Attack, which is kind of the Pac-Man version of Tetris. This is a good game. Another game that came out in '93. I love this game. And it's its own take of Tetris. And so what it is, you have to line up, clear rows just like Tetris, but what it is you have to use Pac-Man, and Pac-Man eats the ghosts, and you can use that to pretty much clear lines. And you know, you get your depending on where you position Pac-Man, he eats the ghosts, and that's how you use your strategy to clear lines. A lot of fun. I played this game a lot back in the day. So you do lots of things to clear ghosts and to make rows, and so it's another addicting puzzle game and a good fit for Sega Genesis. This game gets overlooked all the time, and it's a great action adventure game. It was done by Treasure. You can upgrade your weapons and armor and get magic. There's puzzles to solve. This is a game that is a lot of fun. It's got great graphics, a little bit on the easy side, but for people that, you know, you want to play something you haven't played 100 times before, this is probably one that gets overlooked. It was a late release, 1995. I really am glad that I got to experience this game back in the day. I purchased it at KB Toys on clearance, and it's something that I revisit every now and then. It doesn't take too long to beat, and I highly recommend this game. I think some people forget how awesome EA was during the 90s for Sega Genesis. They had some amazing releases, and Desert Strike is one of those releases. And it's an overlooked game all the time. It's common, it's everywhere. You can get this game cheap, and there is a lot of strategy to this game. You have missions, you have to use maps, you have limited fuel, armor. I really like this game. You can pick up fuel, it's got great animation. This is a must play for Sega Genesis. You know, and it's a very common game. You know, it's not a you know, as common as Sonic per se. Of all the games that I recommend today, I played this one quite a bit, and I still think it's as fun today. It's got a lot to it. There's a lot of strategy here on like not trying to waste your ammo or fuel, and you know, it's got several missions. You know, this is a game you're going to get a lot of gameplay out of. It was really nice to pull games out of my Sega Genesis library I haven't played in quite a bit. And here are my physical copies of the games I showed today, which I actually used the footage off my Mega SG. And so it was a lot of fun to play these games once again. So there you have it, my choices for good and cheap Sega Genesis games. What games would you have chosen? I got into this hobby because it was affordable, and it still can be affordable. These games are examples of video games that don't cost a lot. And so comment below. I'd love to hear your choices and your picks, as we all have different opinions on what is a good game. I really appreciate the ongoing support. The comments are wonderful. Thank you so much. If you'd like to support me further for as little as $1 a month, you can support me on Patreon and get an additional video every month. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. This is the Immortal John Hancock. Thank you so much. You take care.